Hello again, my friends, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Today we're going to talk about a serious problem that we run into, but let's take a look around the world and see where this is affecting us, and then we'll take a look closer to home and see how it's affecting us and what we can do about it, and how we can change our habits to make it better. So I came across this interesting article that showed that when that lockdown happened in Wuhan during the coronavirus, that they calculated that the air pollution drop reduced the death rate by a tune of 10,822, which is more than they had from the coronavirus. So the point being, they got a pretty serious pollution problem in Wuhan. So let's take a look at a few more things. According to the World Health Organization, some key facts that each year close to 4 million people die prematurely. That's a lot of people, 4 million, from illnesses attributed to household air pollution. Now this is from the third world countries where they're cooking indoors and the smoke gets to them and the fumes from the kerosene and all those other things that happen when you have to cook inside and you don't have proper ventilation. And so, but 4 million people, that's a lot of people. Hopefully the World Health Organization is doing something about that. But not much we can do about that right now. And don't want to drive you into this great big fear place. But let's take a look at something closer to home. So let's take a look at hidden toxins in your cleaning products, something you can do something about. And they definitely have an effect on your health, because a lot of people die from pulmonary conditions in the Western world. And we're probably exposed to things that contribute to it, make it worse, and make our life more of a discomfort. So let's take a look at a few of them. So sodium hydroxide, that's the one that's used in oven cleaners. So that, and they're very corrosive, and they definitely affect your eyes and obviously your lungs too, so you don't get too close to those. And there are other ways of doing it to clean your oven that won't be hazardous to your health. So have a look at the suggestions here. Turn on the heat and let the steam soften any baked on grease by just putting a heat-proof dish filled with water in the oven. Sounds like a good idea. Once the oven is cool, apply a paste of equal parts of salt, baking soda, vinegar, and scrub. And you can get more about that from Supernatural Home by Beth Greer, if you look that up on the internet. Another good one. Chlorine. That usually is understated because we use it so much to whiten everything, even in our laundry. And the problem with it is that when it's used in swimming pools, obviously, and used in our drinking water, so it accumulates in our bodies. So we don't want to add any more than we have to, and if there's another way to get around it, then that's probably a good thing to do. Because it's a bleach and because it destroys bacteria, it will actually, when you drink it, through your drinking water, so it's better to let your drinking water stand for a few hours before you drink it. It helps to get rid of the chlorine. And if you put it in sunlight, it'll go even faster. Get rid of the chlorine even faster. So, and interesting enough that the mustard gas they used in World War I was chlorine, and it stayed close to the ground and burned people's lungs out. So stay away from chlorine if you can, because it does have a nasty effect on your lungs. And ammonia. Another one, we don't realize how much of these things are in our cleaning products. And this one affects your lungs over time. Now, the big thing about all of these is if you add it together, if you're using all these cleaning products, boy, you're going to have an adverse effect on your lungs and your breathing and other parts of your body, like your liver and your kidneys over time. So you're more susceptible to viruses and bacteria and diseases and things like that. So you might want to stay away from that. And there's other things you can use. Again, go back to the original source I was talking about. Use vodka and toothpaste. Toothpaste is a good one. And vinegar and newspaper. My dad used to clean our windows with vinegar and newspaper, put vinegar in some water, and he would clean the windows off. They would be spotless, better even than Windex. So good one to use, saves your lungs. And Butoxie Ethanol, interesting one. It's classed under multi-purpose cleaners. Sometimes you won't find this listed in there. It gives a sweet smell to the different cleaners. And again, it's hard on your lungs and hard on your liver, and can cause kidney damage. And again, if you're adding all of these things together, it's just going to cause you that much more grief. So you can clean with vinegar and baking soda, other non-toxic substances too. Add a little essential oil to give it that smell that won't wreck your lungs or give you any serious damage like these industrial chemicals do. Quaternary ammonia compounds, or quats. They're in fabric softeners. And again, a lot of people use a lot of heavy fabric softeners, and unfortunately it is spread around. Some people come into the office and they'll walk through, and that hangs around for such a long time. And sometimes I notice myself, so I don't recommend using them, sometimes I notice myself at the end of the day, I feel kind of, really tired. And I think it's the number of people using these fabric softeners, and it just hangs around. Can you imagine wearing that clothes all day long and breathing that in all day long? So look for something other than the fabric softeners. And I'm not picking on any one in particular, not getting myself into trouble here, but just to have a quick look and see what you're getting from your fabric softener and do something different. Triclosan. Now, the big thing that's come up in the past few years is these antibacterial soaps. And the big thing is that you think you're killing off these bacteria. Problem with bacteria is, if you're using something like Triclosan, what it does is it actually, bacteria are very smart. Nature is extremely smart. If it gets exposed to this long enough, it learns how to deal with it. And there's an experiment they did in Harvard where they actually exposed bacteria to, there was a very strong antibiotic that they used on a particular group of bacteria. And so over time, they showed within 21 days that bacteria actually, not only the antibiotic didn't affect them anymore, but they actually started to eat it and it became a food source for them. So anytime you're using an antibacterial that is like an antibiotic trying to kill the bacteria, it actually will strengthen the bacteria, make them antibiotic resistant. And you might, if you're in a low health state and you get sick, you might need an antibiotic to help you. And so don't contribute to their resistance to antibiotics by using them all over the place. So the good news is that Dr. Landy was our bacteriology teacher back in chiropractic college, and he used to always say, soap and water, it will break down the outside cell walls of bacteria and viri, and they never develop a resistance to it. So soap and water, good for almost everything. So again, perchlorethylene, oh my God, or perc. That's another one. It's in dry cleaning solutions. And again, you get your clothes dry cleaned and talk to the dry cleaner. Make sure that they're not using the things that are going to cause damage to your nervous system. And we know enough now that there's more and more people with all kinds of nervous system diseases I never saw when I first started practice quite a few years ago, but they seem to be there. So look for other ways to avoid using dry cleaning solutions, because you do wear that on your body, and it hangs out on your body for such a long time. And unfortunately, it's absorbed in your skin. Now, phthalates, again, another scent in products like air fresheners. And it might not be listed on the label. Actually, it's hardly ever listed on the label. It's listed as fragrance, and that means that it's likely included. So the big problem with this, it's an endocrine disruptor, and we know we're having trouble with conceiving problems with young people these days. Fertility clinics are all over the place. So don't add to it. Try and find a way around it. So there you go. Some things for you to consider. Thanks for tuning in. Share this with your friends and family. And don't forget to go to the farmer's market. There's one in Qualicum Beach, and there's one out in Arrington, and Tuesday evenings down south end of Parksville. Again, get some fresh local produce. Build your health and stay away from these chemicals. There's lots of choices to use other than these chemicals. Thanks for watching.